Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. The Sarawak government is leaving it to the court to rule on PETRONAS' application regarding the regulatory framework for petroleum operations in the state. Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg says the matter involves the federal and state governments, so it is not appropriate to comment at this stage.
Mereka berkendalikan direction daripada mahkamah, biarkan mahkamah menentukan.
Jadi Sarawak akan jelas Sarawak.
Tak, kerana dia menyentuhkan kedua-dua kerajaan persekutuan dan kerajaan negeri. Biar mahkamah tentukan. Nothing to comment lah.
Biasa jalan standard.
Biasalah. Mungkinnya minta arahan dari mahkamah. Either way, tidak memberi kesan banyak. At the end of the day, you have to find a solution. Kena mau clarity aja. Tanggal keadaan ni keputusan mahkamah, biar mahkamah menentukan lah. Kita rule of law. Nah, kita ikutlah rule of law lah.
In a statement yesterday, PETRONAS said it had filed a motion at the federal court in Putrajaya seeking clarity on the applicable petroleum regulatory framework governing its operations in Sarawak, naming the federal government and the Sarawak state government as respondents. It said the application is not intended to challenge Sarawak's development aspirations or hinder the role of Petros in the state's energy sector. It added that the decision to file the motion follows a series of dialogues and negotiations with Petros, as well as the federal and state governments since 2024.
Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS remains fully committed to supporting the leadership of Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg to ensure political stability, economic prosperity and the well-being of Sarawakians. Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas UGGAH emphasizes that this unwavering support from the entire GPS family is a key factor in successfully implementing the post-COVID-19 development strategy PCDS 2030. He highlights that PCDS continues to serve as the roadmap for the state's inclusive and sustainable development.
Kami akan berdiri tegap tetap walau apapun cabaran dari dalam dan dari luar yang nak mengugat kepimpinan negeri ini.
He further notes that under Abang Johari's leadership over the past 9 years, Sarawak has entered a new economic era centered on innovation, high-value industries and a green economy with a strong focus on human capital development, positioning the state as Malaysia's economic hub and a key player in Asia.
Sarawak is now recognized as an economic powerhouse. Ini statement by Yang Amat Berhormat PMX. Bahawa kita adalah economic powerhouse of Malaysia as well as the battery of ASEAN.
Meanwhile, Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Dr. Sim Kui Hian underscores that the leadership of Abang Johari is widely recognized as the cornerstone of Sarawak's political stability, economic growth and future confidence. This, he notes, is especially significant given the challenging political dynamics at the national level since 2018. He adds that under Abang Johari's leadership, Sarawak not only strengthened its financial position but also recorded a revenue increase of more than 200% in 2026 compared to 2008, thus dispelling the notion that Sarawak is at risk of bankruptcy. Dr. Sim further emphasizes that this success enables the state government to implement large-scale infrastructure projects, provide cost of living assistance through the Sarawak Basic Needs Assistance Contribution SKAS initiative, offer free higher education and establish the Sarawak Cancer Centre, all of which directly benefit the people. He adds that the implementation of strategic initiatives such as PETROS, TVS, the Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Fund and Borneo Water positions Sarawak as an example of a state that bravely determines its own direction for the benefit of the people. 9 years of excellence, a town hall with the Premier, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, was successful in addressing questions and queries posed by moderators and the public on developments that could improve the quality of life of Sarawakians. For the details, we go over to the Hikmah Exchange Convention Centre with Yusuf Shukri.
Thank you, Lorenzo. It was indeed a successful session, just like previous editions. Our Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, addressed all the questions gracefully but firmly. And of course, he touched on various issues and developments that has been done in Sarawak and it's currently being developed. And we're talking about renewable energy, free tertiary education, what Sarawak's role in the future in terms of carbon trading and many more. But one of the questions that actually took my attention was about Air Borneo, which we know has been garnering a lot of attention, both positive and negative, especially in regards to the pricing of the tickets. Now, Abang Johari is aware of this issue and justified the price by saying that Air Borneo is different compared to other airlines in Malaysia. The difference with Air Borneo, he states, is that the ticket prices will not be hiked during seasonal festivities like the Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, New Year's, Christmas, and so on. And it will be maintained at a reasonable price and according to the number of passengers one aircraft can carry at a time. So he gave an example. For example, if one aircraft can carry about 90 passengers, the ticket price will be divided equally among the 90 passengers, and the pricing will be based on cost and service charges only. And yes, one of the costs is of course fuel costs. And although other airline in Malaysia has expressed concern over the matter, what I love about Abang Johari is that he's literally said, so what? He prioritizes the connectivity of the people and compares Air Borneo to the many bridges that he has built to connect different areas in Sarawak. Of course, there are many things that I can continue talking about from this town hall session with our Premier, but we have such a limited time on the Nightline, so I guess I shall leave you here. More updates on tvsarawak.my and TVS Inspire. Yusuf Shukri with Rafiq for TVS Kuching. Good night.
Thank you, Yusuf. Moving on, after his conviction for misappropriating 2.3 billion ringgit involving funds linked to the 1MDB, former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak is now facing another lawsuit filed against him by SRC International Sendirian Berhad and its subsidiary, Gandingan Mentari Sendirian Berhad. The plaintiff accused him of being a shadow director, which Najib strongly denies, saying that the claim was flawed and attempts to personalize institutional decisions while portraying him as having authority over the company's affair. The case is now underway at the Kuala Lumpur High Court, and Najib's appearance was to testify in the 42 million ringgit civil lawsuit filed by the aforementioned companies.
During the hearing, Najib says under SRC's Constitution and the Companies Act, the management of the company lies with its board of directors, BOD, and officers. Any approvals or consents associated with his public offices were sequenced after BOD processes and did not convert him into a de facto or shadow director. SRC International previously removed 5 of its directors from the lawsuit, including Tan Sri Ismi Ismail, Datuk Subuh Mat Yassin, and Datuk Syahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi, retaining Najib as the sole defendant. However, the High Court later granted Najib permission to issue third-party notices against them. Najib also maintained that he did not instruct anyone to transfer SRC's money to him and said he did not know at the material time that the 42 million ringgit allegedly originated from SRC. The suit, which was filed in 2021, involves SRC and Gandingan Mentari seeking a declaration that Najib is liable to them for the receipt of 42 million ringgit, as well as damages for knowing receipt, dishonest assistance, the tort of misfeasance and abuse of power. The hearing before Judge Datuk Raja Ahmad Mohzanuddin Shahraza Mohzan continues tomorrow.
On to world news. The United Nations warned that child malnutrition in the Gaza Strip has reached alarming levels, with nearly 95,000 cases identified so far. last year. UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric says agencies continue to detect large numbers of children in urgent need as harsh winter weather is damaging shelters and straining humanitarian operations. Last month alone, more than 76,000 children were screened, with nearly 5,000 found to be acutely malnourished, including more than 800 severe cases. The UN says more than 1.1 million people still required urgent assistance, warning that temporary shelters such as tents remain inadequate, despite relief efforts including the distribution of winter clothing and the establishment of child-friendly spaces. The UN says aid access remains restricted and is calling for rapid and unimpeded humanitarian entry to prevent further problems. The Gaza Health Ministry says as of Monday, January 12, Gaza's death toll has risen to 71,419, with at least 171,318 people injured since October 7, 2023. It adds that since a ceasefire came into effect in October, 442 people have been killed and more than 1,200 others injured, with nearly 700 bodies recovered during the same period. An Iranian human rights group says at least 648 protesters have been killed in a new wave of anti-government demonstrations across Iran. The death toll, including at least 9 children, has been verified through multiple sources. The group says the real number could be much higher as a near-total internet blackout has made independent verification difficult. Protests began in late December over economic conditions and quickly spread to all 31 provinces. More than 10,000 people are believed to have been arrested. The group warns some protesters could face execution following rapid trials. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said that Monday's pro-government rallies were a warning to the United States after President Donald Trump repeatedly threatened to intervene militarily if Tehran killed protesters.
این اجتماعات عظیم و سرشار از عزم راسخ نقشه دشمنان خارجی را که قرار بود به دست مزدوران داخلی پیاده شود باطل کرد. این هشداری به سیاستمداران آمریکا بود که فریبکاری خود را متوقف کنند و به مزدوران خائن تکیه نکنند.
Flanked by slogans "Death to Israel, Death to America" in Persian, he vowed the Iranian military would teach Trump an unforgettable lesson if Iran were attacked. China says it will protect its rights and interests after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman said China has always believed that there are no winners in a tariff war and that the country will safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. In response to a question at a news conference about advice for Chinese citizens traveling to Iran for tourism, Mao said Beijing was closely monitoring the development of the situation. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
Rentak mati jaket, fight yang besar, fight yang paling best. Jangan lupa